You see it on?
It says, "Let there be light." Can somebody say something?
Hello, check. 1, 2, 3. Check. Check.
Microphone checker. Check, please.
Can you hear me? All right. All right, gorgeous. See you later.
You said make a sound. Microphone checker.
All right. These nice glazed donuts.
What's going on?
I don't even know if I touched the ball in 2012. What? Right. We haven't touched basketball. 2012? Well, actually,
who cares? 2013.
right. I know I ain't touched one in 2013. You too.
Well, when you decide to touch a basketball, be sure to send out an invite. To give it 2 more minutes and we start.
Where you live in front of that way? I live right off the block, 13 Fish Point Road.
You on the beach?
No, sir. Let's see, you know where that Target is and everything right there? Off the 42 and 32.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you keep going 13 there, away from the highway. So it's just like going south on 13. And you're going across the Fish Point Road, and you're right down there. So a little further past that Target.
Okay, you see that? Fine,
Through my boy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of good.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Hey,
I want to welcome you to this Saturday morning's JMG training. Wasn't get it started right away, so I want you to get your thinking caps on, stretch out a little bit, get the muscles going. I'm going to introduce to you JMG's rising star. Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up. Make some noise. Come on now. All right.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hope everybody can see me out there. Good morning, everybody online. Appreciate you for being here. We're going to get started here on this day. What is this, the second day of February?
Yes, it is.
2013. So a whole month is gone. For those that have been in the company, for you new people, welcome. We welcome you with open arms, and we're here to help you as much as we can. So I want to start off today talking, we're going to talk about a little bit about a story of where you are right now. Where are you right now? And being able to examine exactly where you are. So I'm going to start that off by going to the Bible, and we're going to go to Mark 10, and I'll read this. It says, Mark 10, 46 to 52. Then they came to Jericho as Jesus and his disciples, together with a large crowd, were leaving the city. A blind man, Bartimaeus, which means son of Timaeus, was sitting by the roadside begging. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me." Many rebuked him and told him to be quiet, but he shouted all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called to the blind man, "Cheer up, on your feet, he's calling you." Throwing off his cloak aside, he jumped to his feet and came to Jesus. What do you want? What do you want me to do for you?" Jesus asked him. The blind man said, "Rabbi, I want to see." "Go," said Jesus, "your faith has healed you." Immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. What I want to focus on in this story is verse 51. What do you want me to do for you? Jesus asked him. The blind man said, "I want to see." This is the thing that many of us sometimes lose sight of. Or if we lose sight of it, some of us have never put our hand on exactly that question. If so, I want you here and at home, take out a piece of paper, and if we understand that Jesus is all power, what if he came today, right into your house, right into this room, and he's asked you, "What do you want me to do for you?" I want you to write that answer down. I'll wait. He comes right now. You can get anything. You can get anything that you want. What do you want? What do you want him to do for you? So now that everybody have that, they have it in mind, they know exactly what they want. Now we're going to take inventory. We're going to take inventory on your assets. We understand that assets what I wrote on the board is what I want and $10,000 a month for those that are online. So we look at our assets. This is our inventory. This, what you wrote on your sheet of paper, this is what I want. This is what I want. So when I take my inventory, I have to say, okay, what's going to help me get to that? What things am I doing in my life, whether it's the marketing tools that I'm using, am I using flyers, am I using any other type of service that goes out and helps me to get to this? But the other thing is the liabilities to your business. What's taking me away from this? What's taking me away from what I want? In that story in the Bible, blind Bartimaeus, he knew, I want to see. I haven't been able to see, I want to see. Mm-hmm. And once he was able to see, he followed. So when we look at ourselves in our businesses, have we pinpointed this? Go back to the liabilities. These are the things that take away from you. If I change the word liabilities to what are you willing to sacrifice to get this? What are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want? Are you willing to sacrifice your leisure time? Are you willing to sacrifice the food you eat? I don't know. Those are questions that you have to ask yourself. What are you willing to sacrifice and do to get to this? Is there a routine that you've started? Is there anything that you've done? Because ultimately that's what we have to focus on. We understand this as our why. We understand this as our why. But sometimes we forget, we start using the word should. The word should, I should do this, I should do that. When we use that word, it actually gives us permission to not do something. Because it's saying, well, I should do it, but that doesn't mean I have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, action. Bo Bennett quotes, "A dream becomes a goal when action is taken toward its achievement." A dream becomes a goal when action is taken towards its achievement.
Mm-hmm.
We can dream, we can dream, we can dream. But until we get to the point where we say, this is what I want, this is what I have to get to where I want, and these are the things I'm going to sacrifice to get to where I want.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it becomes a goal. And the thing about a goal has a time limit. I know a lot of people saying, no, my goals, we all have big goals.
Right.
But you have to stair-step goals. So give yourself tasks, small goals that will move forward to your overall goal. It's all going to work together. So let's talk about a daily routine. What these are just suggestions. These are just suggestions. These are not cut and dry. This is how you're going to reach your goal. These are just suggestions. Number one, well, it says read your goals daily. That means you have to write your goals down. But put them somewhere where you can read them daily. That it becomes part of your routine. So you put that into your spirit. Number two, prioritize your to-do list based upon your goals. We understand this from Schedules for Success. Prioritizing yourself. What is more important for that day? Because this is the thing. And I've heard it many times in my life, but for whatever reason it's clicking a whole bunch this week for me, that every day is a precious gift.
Mm-hmm.
And we're supposed to utilize that day for what it is. It's a gift for you to move forward. So number one, read your goals daily. Number two, prioritize your to-do list based upon your goals. And number three, it says, do my A's the most important, regardless of the time it takes to complete them. This may be hard for you online to read. Number one is read the goals. Number two, prioritize my to-do list based upon my goals. Number three is do my A's, the letter A, most important, regardless of the time it takes to complete them. And the smaller bullet points, A, says, I touch tasks one time and complete them. What does that mean? That means that when I set what I'm going to do for that day, my first task, I don't stop that task until that task is complete.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason it sounds like, oh, well, you're not being busy. We've been taught that multitasking is a good thing. But our minds were never designed to multitask in the manner of which we were taught. Our minds are designed to be focused. if we can focus on one thing at a time, you can put all your attention into that one thing. So it gets all of you. Just like, so with that, when we're going out and we're prospecting, this has happened to me. The person's talking, I'm thinking about other meetings, other things going on, and I'm not listening. And those people, usually what they always do, they will tell you exactly what they want. Just like blind Bartimaeus. Remember, Jesus said, what do you want me to do for you? He said, I want to see. But then at the end of that, what did he do? He followed Jesus because Jesus was listening and satisfied what he wanted. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
So with your prospects, when you're talking to them, and somebody may come up to you and say, you know what, you may come up to them and say, do you leave your options open for making more money? And they say, well, yeah. Do you just walk away?
No.
What do you? So if they say, well, what is it all about? Well, how can I really want to make more? They may say, I really want to make more money, but I'm so sick of my job right now. Where would you take that? Your next question should be, what type of work do you do? That's a viable question. What type of work do you do? Why are you sick of it? What makes it so hard? Now that's showing compassion into how I can draw these people in, and now you can say, okay, well, over here, you come in, we can sit down and meet, and I can show you something that will help the way you feel. Just an idea. So, A, touch the task one time and complete them. So put your all right there. Boom. This is task one. Task one is done. Task two. Okay? B, don't let distractions take you off of what you're doing. You will be distracted. There will be many distractions. But we can't let the distractions knock us off of our horse. Because we are focused. We set the goal. We put the blinders on. Boom. We're going. So if it does not, this says I want $10,000 a month. So if it doesn't get me $10,000 a month, I don't need to do it. Letter C. Make all decisions swiftly. Either yes, no, or more data required. Remember I said that we should get away from the word should. I've heard that plenty of times and talked to some buddies of mine. Man, we should get together. We should get together. We've been saying that for years and have never got together. So what we need to start doing, and this is good in just your daily life, make decisions swiftly. Either yes or no. There's no in between. Black and white. Make the decision. If you don't know, then you need to go figure out. That's the more data required. I need more information. I need more training. I need to figure something out. I need to go research something. Okay? Letter D. I am the cause of my day. I'm the gatekeeper to what enters my mind and what I think about. What that says is your day is your day. You can make out of that day what you want to make out of that day. When things get hard, that's what it says. I'm the gatekeeper to what enters my mind. When things get hard and you're like, oh my goodness, this doesn't look like it's working. What are people thinking about? What is wrong with people? It's time to get more data. Reevaluate. Go back to that goal. Wait a minute. These thoughts are not helping me get my $10,000. What am I going to do to get this? change you. It's okay to change your approach. That's what it's about. It's feeling, okay, this didn't work, this might work. This didn't work, this may work. Once you find that thing that works, it will be a domino effect. Things will start coming like, oh my goodness. And the thing about that is you'll be able to teach that. That's ultimately what we do here. We learn something and then we teach that thing. Okay, letter E. I choose to put into my mind only those things which will further me to reaching my goals. I do not get entangled in small games and worthless arguments that rob my assets of money, time, and attention. Time is well, we need money because you need to have that capital to do some of the things that you want to do in your business. This is your business, not my business, not Paul D. Jones's business. This is your business. You are the CEO. So you have to make those decisions swiftly. If you need marketing tools, you're going to have to purchase those marketing tools. Those are the assets that go to making that goal. Okay? Your time. If something's robbing you of your time, if it's the idiot box that's robbing you of your time, I call it the idiot box. It's television for those that do not know what an idiot box is. If it's robbing you from your time, it's time to rethink, to prioritize what you should do. Your attention. If you're not thinking about your business on a daily basis, your business will not move on a daily basis. If you're not putting anything in, you will not get anything out.
Right.
Okay? So with this bottom part, this letter E specifically, I just want to touch on the mindsets. I don't remember if I put this slide in here. I didn't. Okay. With the last I choose to put into my mind only those things which will further me to reaching my goals. We have to, in this business, I'm gonna keep that up there.
That's funny. I already got a pen in my hand.
In this business, you have you, and you have your three people, right?
Right.
This is the amazing thing about this, and the more you learn, the more you need to teach.
Mm-hmm.
If this person is not learning, or if this person is not teaching, these people can't learn from that person.
Right.
So these people need to take it upon themselves to say, what do I want? There's plenty of information and research about everything in the world that you can find information for. It's okay to go and better yourself, even if that person's not helping you. That's not how we work here, but we're in a people business. You have to understand people. Okay? That's why we say go out and get 3 good ones. Because if you go out and get 3 good ones, then you as the leader are going to have to pour into those 3 good ones.
Mm-hmm.
They're as good as you carry them. So, I quickly want to talk about two mindsets that a lot of people have. Carol Dweck Carol Dweck is the author of a book, and it talks about different mindsets. And in these mindsets, she talks about the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. It's a very eye-opening book. It really makes you look inside of yourself to see where you are in regards to your goals. And the amazing thing about it is a large amount of people in our population have fixed mindsets. These are mindsets that are when they get comfortable, they plateau. The example that she used is she gave a test. She gave a test to a group of people. Okay? They took the test. After the test, she went to half of the group and said, "Oh wow, you were really smart. You really did a really good job because you're a smart person. You did a great job. You're just brilliant. That's why you did a good job on your test." She went to the other half of the people and said, "Wow, your efforts were amazing. You worked hard. That's why you got a good grade on your test." She brought those same group of people back and she presented them with two new tests. She said, one is an easier test, one is a more challenging test. The group that she said, you're smart, they chose the easier test. The group that said, your efforts made it, they chose the more challenging test. And in the research, it basically said that people with a fixed mind, they don't like to feel disappointed. So they usually will go for the easier route because they don't want to have to go through that feeling, that emotional feeling of disappointment. So fixed-minded people usually generally find out the easier way, or they will avoid anything that's challenging not to feel that. But a growth-minded person will go forward because they understand that it's their efforts, it's their action, it's their work, it's their practice that makes them successful. They welcome challenges and they use challenges. That's what we have to become as leaders. We have to be growth-minded, understanding everybody in this room, everybody online, you will be challenged in this business. You have to welcome that challenge and say, okay, I'm going to stand on this challenge and build off the challenge. Use the challenge not as a barrier, but as a stepping stone. That's where we have to get to in having the growth mindset. So when somebody hits you with all those, that's just one of those things. You don't become disappointed and depressed and, oh man, this is not going to work. No. That person just doesn't understand, or you weren't giving them attention to hear what they wanted. So, with that said, find you a daily routine. Find you a daily routine that will help you be consistent. There are all types of things on how, go into your back office. In regards to recruiting, go into your back office. There's information in that back office on how to qualify leads. Go read through that information. It literally gives you a script. And I apologize, I thought I put that slide in here, but I didn't. But it literally gives you a script of what you need to do. As leaders, develop software, develop something where your people can benefit. Example, when I first got started in this business, people were saying, how do you sign up? I don't know how to use it. So what did I do? I took it upon myself to develop a step-by-step manual on how to go into your back office and how to put new people into the business. No one told me to do that. I'm just operating in a growth mindset. I understand that these people are important to me. They're my attention. And they're part of the asset that's going to help me get to there. So, with that said, I'm going to bring up the next person who is amazing in regards to setting a schedule, following the routine, having the growth mindset, and going forward for what he wants. So if you can stand, welcome Brother Antonio Lockins. All right.
Hydrate.
How y'all doing?
Real good. Real good.
All right. Back up to Newman.
Yeah.
So every week, I'm thinking like, what can I say? Right? What am I going to say? What am I going to say that's going to motivate people? What am I going to say that's going to inspire people to do more? And I think about my situation and I say, hey, Antonio, what is it that's going to take you to the next level? And that's what I train on. So I really want to break this down, and I really want to take my time with this. Uh-oh, I'm sorry. I hope y'all got that, man.
This is a racer.
And it really probably been easier. So I really want us to focus on what we want. And I think that's the biggest thing.
That's funny.
When I start seeing my success, and I mean, I've had failures in this business as well, but I think what I had to do was recommit myself and refocus. And tell myself, why am I doing this business? And not a superficial why, like a car. You know, if your why doesn't, bring emotion to your face, then you need a stronger why. Because if it's just a car, if it's just something superficial, then it'll fade. People will talk to you, people will knock you out and tell you this won't work, and you can't get this, and you can't get that. And if you're not passionate about the reason you're doing it, then you may sway with the wind. But if you get those blinders on, you ever seen horses when they're running?
Mm-hmm.
Right? They want to be focused on the trail that they're running, right? They don't want to be looking off on the peripherals and looking here and getting distracted, right? That's what we got to do in this business is we got to focus. So let's put the first things first. What's it going to take to be successful? Primarily in this business, but I mean just in life, period. Working out, whatever it is, it's going to take, it starts with belief. Right? I'm going to break all these down in a second. And then commitment and consistency I kind of put together. And then going through the numbers, I'll break that all down. And then I want to talk about recruiting. Let's focus on attitude, emotions, and feelings, mental toughness, and focus. But I'm going to start off with this video because what we're trying to do here, right, is we're building something, right? I can't draw, so bear with me. Okay, just imagine that these are really weird bricks. Right, if we said, hey, go out here, because we got to go this year of what, $5 million? $5 million. $5 million. Right, that's what I want your focus to be. What portion of that are you going to contribute? Right, how much of that is going to come from your organization? Right, so we're focusing on building this wall, right, this JMG wall. But I think a lot of people focus too much on the wall, how am I going to build this wall, when I think that people should focus on the individual bricks that make up the wall. So that's what I want to talk about, the foundation, the fundamentals, what it's going to take, like I said, to be successful. It's going to take that focus. It's going to take the everyday commitment, talking to people, building that, laying that brick, laying that brick, laying that brick. Don't focus on this whole wall. It's 1,000 bricks, it's whatever bricks. How many bricks it's going to take to build that wall is what it's going to take. But I want you to focus on laying that first brick as perfect as you can. And laying that next brick as perfect as you can. Right? And keep laying bricks and keep laying bricks. But who started Will Smith?
Yeah.
Anybody? So I didn't realize he was so powerful. Right? And I'm going to put this video up. It's called Will's Wisdom. Right? And I was talking with Child before this. And when Will started becoming successful, it wasn't the people that didn't look like him that were against him. It was the people that looked like him.
Isn't that crazy?
Right. So I just want to let y'all know this morning, I'm going to have haters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? We're going to get into it. So I'll be back.
I want to share it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me take it all into it again.
I have a great time with my life. And I want to share it. I love living. I think that's infectious. It's something that you can't fake. Greatness is not this wonderful, esoteric, elusive, God-like feature that only the special among us will ever taste. You know, it's something that truly exists in all of us. It's very simple. This is what I believe, and I'm willing to die for it. Period. It's that simple.
I know who I am, and I know what I believe.
I know who I am, I know what I believe.
That's all I need to know.
And that's all I need to know. So from there, you do what you need to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I think what happens is we make the situation more complex than it has to
Because
be.
we're looking for complexity. There's got to be something complex to understand.
It
Right?
can't be that easy.
No.
We didn't grow up with the sense that where we were was where we were going to be. You know, we grew up with the sense that where we were almost didn't matter because
We were becoming.
Right. Something greater. The separation of talent and skill is one of the greatest misunderstood concepts for people who are trying to excel, who have dreams, that want to do things. Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. I've never really viewed myself as particularly talented. Where I excel is ridiculous, sickening work ethic. You know, while the other guy's sleeping, I'm working. While the other guy's eating, I'm working. There's no easy way around it. No matter how talented you are, your talent is going to fail you if you're not skilled. You know, if you don't study, if you don't work really hard and dedicate yourself to being better every single day, you'll never be able to communicate with people, with your artistry the way that you want. So the only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill. You might have more talent than me, you might be smarter than me, but if we get on the treadmill together, right, there's two things. You're getting off first, or I'm gonna die. It's really that simple.
One summer, his dad tore down a brick wall on the front of his business and told 12-year-old Will and his 9-year-old brother to rebuild it. The job, they said, was impossible. It took them 1.5 years, but they did it.
And he said, now don't you ever tell me it's something that you can't do. You don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. And you do that every single day, and soon you have a wall. You know, it's an idea that my grandmother always said that if you're going to be here, then there's a necessity to make a difference. She always instilled the responsibility, the spiritual responsibility that you have to make every group you come in contact with better. I want to do good. I want the world to be better because I was here. I want my life, I want my work, my family, I want it to mean something. And it's like, it has, if you are not making someone else's life better, then you're wasting your time. You know, like your life will become better by making other lives better. I want to represent an idea. I want to represent possibilities. I want to represent the idea that you really can make what you want. One of my favorite books is The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. And I just believe that. I believe that I can create whatever I want to create. The first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it. There's no reason to have a plan B because it distracts from plan A. I think that there's a certain delusional quality that all successful people have to have. You have to believe that something different than what has happened for the last 50 million years of history. You have to believe that something different can happen. Confucius said, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. Being realistic is the most commonly traveled road to mediocrity. Why would you be realistic? What's the point of being realistic?
Just put up a barracks.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. It's done. It's already done. The second I decide it's done, it's already done. So now we just got to wait for y'all to see.
It's unrealistic to walk in a room and flip a switch and lights on. That's unrealistic. Fortunately, Edison didn't think so. It's unrealistic to think you're going to bend a piece of metal and fly people over an ocean in that metal. That's unrealistic. But fortunately, the Wright brothers and others didn't believe that. And it just seems like such a ridiculous idea to me to embrace the idea that it's not going to happen. That's not real for that to happen. As soon as you say it, now you just think that real. Our thoughts, our feelings, our dreams, our ideas are physical in the universe. That if we dream something, if we picture something, if we commit ourselves to it, that is a physical thrust towards realization that we can put into the universe. That the universe is not a thing that's going to push us around. That the world and people and situations are not something that are going to push us around. That we are going to bend the universe and command and demand that the universe become what we want it to be.
I study the patterns of the universe. There's a redemptive power that making a choice had.
Man, I used to watch that video like every day. I mean, so he said some pretty good things there. But like you said, first you got to believe. Starts from within. If we don't believe in this business, if you don't believe in your potential, if you don't believe in what you want, then nobody else is going to believe in. People follow you. Right? If you're not having the success in your business, then you got to look at yourself. Right? That's what I had to do, was look at myself. Let's say, Antonio, why? Why didn't you get a rap in last week? Right? Because like Newman said, we all know what we should do. Right? We can tell you all day how to do it, how it should be done. And I think it's not enough of just doing it. And that's what I had to say to myself, Tony, you just got to do it. People say, Antonio, how'd you do it? I just did it, right? I just do it. We know what we should do. But now we just got to do it. So, belief. Like I said, you got to believe in yourself and in JMG. It comes from within. We say it all the time. You won't get in JMG until JMG gets inside of you. Take it everywhere you go. Right? I do recruit. I do events and go out recruiting and stuff like that, but I take my business everywhere I go. JMG is me, right? I hand a card out, I'm handing out the product cards, whatever it is. I'm handing it out, man, because if no one knows I'm in business, how am I supposed to get more partners? Right? I can go into some people's houses and won't find a single JMG thing. Incognito reps. Incognito. So, believe in the vision of the company, and the vision that you have for yourself. I think, like I said, a lot of it starts with the vision that you have for yourself. If you aim for nothing, you hit nothing every single time. So, what is it you believe? What is it you want? The vision of the company is to be a $1 billion company. Fill stadiums, take tour buses around the country. What's the vision you have for yourself? Right? Start there. Start there. If you don't know where you're at, and put the first things first. Right? Go back to the beginning. Go back to the basics. Right? Some people need to go back and revisit your first things first booklet. You never filled it out. Take the time to sit down there and fill it out. Sign your commitment agreement. Write down the things that you want. Excuse my voice. Commitment. That's what that is. Consistency. Anyway, scheduling. So commitment and consistency. Set your schedule and stick to it. Right? Because what's the schedule if you don't stick to it? I know everything. I was looking at Child's phone when he was making a schedule, and he scheduled sleep. That's new to me. I just fall asleep. They're like, this man schedules everything. Sleep. Who schedules sleep in here? So take daily action. That's what it's going to take. Everything else, we can forget everything else. Is going to take daily action. Whether it's one person a day or 3 people a day, whatever it is, somebody needs to hear about your business every single day from you. Your reps duplicate what you do. And I know the feeling. I brought somebody in, and so and then they stopped. Right? But what happened? I brought them in, but then I stopped. So they're going to duplicate what I do. It's not enough to bring somebody in. Like Newman said, we got to serve these people. Yeah. Right? And it's the first step when you bring somebody in, when you recruit somebody, you're excited, right? But you got to sit down immediately within 24 to 48 hours and schedule 10 appointments for them. And you bring that person in, 10 appointments, and sit with them right there, make the phone calls with them, talk to their people. If I don't care if it's a one-on-one, if it's and I think that's what we got to get back to. It's the one-on-ones. Right, because I've seen more success from one-on-ones. That's me personally, just speaking from my own experience, but from one-on-ones that I've seen from a lot of different. That's what works for me. Mm-hmm. You just have to find out what works for you. You know, if it's the conference call, if it's whatever, if it's the I don't have a 24-hour call, but if it's the conference call, if it's talking to your upline, if it's sitting at whatever it is, show them the video on the website, do what works for you. So recruiting. Let's talk about recruiting. So I want to talk about the perform method. When you're talking to people, and this can be helpful. Like Newman said, you actually got to listen to people. And what's everybody's favorite topic? Themselves. Right? They'll tell you about themselves all day long. So I'm saying don't lead with the opportunity. Lead with questions. Lead with the form method. Talk about their family. You know, where you from? Right? You got your family here? Wife, kids? You know, get them talking about themselves. They'll start smiling. You're building a relationship. That's what you're doing. This is relationship marketing. Goodness gracious. Keep the current scheme and don't show this message again. There we go. Goodness. Talk about the occupation. What do you do? How long have you been doing it? Do you like it? Do you like what you do? Do you love what you do? All right, still at that point. What do you do for fun? Right? What's it to do around here? What do you do for fun? Right? When you're not working, when you're not with your family, you know, what do you do for you? And then money. If I can show you a way, you know, if they start responding to these questions in their occupation, they don't like, maybe they're dissatisfied, maybe they give you some indicators that they're interested, that they're looking for something else. Right? You want to talk to them about money. You want to talk to them different things about the economy. Maybe the gas is going up. You know, is your income going up? You know, if I can show you a way to make some extra income without interfering with what you're doing right now, would you just take a look? Because that's all we're doing. We're getting people to take a look. Right? You're not convincing anybody. Nobody say, hey man, you gotta take a look at this thing, man. We make money that $29.95, $149. You know what I'm saying? It's too much. People don't want that much. They think they do, but they want enough just to tell you no. So you need to pique their interest. Right? Pique, like what you ever seen a screener for a DVD for a movie that's coming out? Right? It looks hot. The preview for it looks hot. I want to go see it. Right? If they gave you the whole movie during a commercial, you wouldn't want to go see it. They give you just enough to where you want to go see it. Right? So that's what we need to do, give people just enough, right? Just enough to be like, okay, I want to take a look at this thing. Because that's after that, your job's done. Right? Either they show up or they don't show up. But either way, you keep moving. Right? My guy texted me today, a guy set up last week. He said, hey, we'll get into that in a minute too. Hey, I have a lot going on right now. And I'm not going to be able to do JMG. So, hey, that's fine, it's your decision. But I think that you need to look at your excuses and use them as your reasons for why you need to stay in business. Too many people use their excuses as cop-outs of reasons why they should stop doing something. And attitude, I think this is very important. You always hear attitude determines your altitude. Right? Who ever seen somebody with a nasty attitude? Right? You go in there, customer service is everything. Restaurants focus on customer service. That's a big piece. If you ever complain about somebody, you want to get a free meal, you want to get whatever it is, talk about their customer service. Right? Because why? That's where the money is. Because if you had an enjoyable experience at a restaurant, you're going to come there again. If you didn't like it, you're not gonna go there again. Right? I'm gonna tell my dad, my dad's story. So I hope he ain't watching. So he had went to go get some food from the store, right? And he was looking at the price, and he was like, "The price is different here than what it says in the advertisement." She said, "Well, I mean, I'm sorry." He went to go get a price, and it's supposed to be cheaper where he was at. He went to where it was a wholesale where they got it for a regular price, retail price, and it was one price. He went to a place where it was supposed to be discounted. It was the same price. He said, "Hey, I went over here. This is gently used or whatever it is." She said, "If you don't like our prices, you can go somewhere else." And he turned around and walked out. But he won't go back there again, right? He won't deal with that. He won't deal with that again. I think people need to focus more on customer service. You need to focus more on your attitude, how you treat people. That's people relate pain to you, right? People won't like you. If they'll think about the first time they met you, right? How you shoved some opportunity in their face. Because I know y'all bad people that don't even answer your phone call anymore. Right? I'm the same way, right? It was something about this, you lose friends. Right? They don't answer their phone. Every time you always bringing up the opportunity. They be the ones that need it the most. But we gotta look at the way we're talking to people. You stay even killed. Right? If people drop out of your business, people don't show up, you still be there. Right? You keep moving. Don't get off the emotional roller coaster, the ups and downs and ups and downs. It'll drain you out. Just stay focused. So people not showing up, like I said, people saying no, people won't tell you no. Just talk to more people. Talk to more people and it won't matter. Person that said you can't do the business doesn't matter. Because I got 2 more people coming in next week. But if he was my only person, I would be distraught. But you mean you're not gonna do it? I thought you wanted this. I thought you wanted that. But I can't want it more for him than he wants it for himself. We gotta work on our mental toughness as well. We gotta develop a millionaire mindset. It starts in the mind first, whatever it is. You gotta see yourself doing it before anybody else sees yourself doing it. You see yourself losing weight before anybody else does. Right? So the more no's you get, the more yeses you're going to get. Separate the emotions from business and remain focused. Okay, don't involve emotions in this business. Can't bring your emotions. Don't bring your outside problems to JMG Net Worth. Right? Separate the two. Leave it at home. Just like at work. I don't know, I've seen people come in and brought their personal life in, and now they're taking it out on customers. It's the same concept. Let's look at some people that you're going to encounter while you're out there. I'm sure you've already encountered them. Critics. All right, the people that take that your vision is wrong. That's not going to work. You're unrealistic. That won't work. I know a lot of people. I had people tell me this all the time. I know a lot of people that did them things and they didn't work. It's not that it didn't work. They didn't work.
Right.
They didn't work. Right. So don't apply that to me. That's not me. Fellas, you get in a relationship with a girl and she want to apply all the last relationships on you. That's not me. Somebody different. Maybe that's game, but so you're gonna run into doubters. There's people that are skeptics, people that are waiting on the sidelines, waiting to see what you're gonna do. Right? People that's gonna say, hey, once you get a check, then I'm gonna do something. Show me your check first. So that didn't work for me, so it's not gonna work for you. Envious people, man, I wish I could have the courage to do what you do. Man, I wish I could do what you do. People that wish they were you. People that are envious of your situation, right? They see you doing something different than what they're doing, now they want to hate. So if people say you're one of them things, then I thought you're better than that. Can't believe you're doing one of those things, and we gotta focus. Don't get too high, don't get too low. You must be able to go through multiple chaotic situations and remain focused, because life is gonna happen. Right? This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. People gonna leave you, whatever it is, but you gotta remain focused on what it is that you said you wanted to do. So you, like I said, use your excuses as your reason, and decide. Decide what you want to focus on and focus on it. Work ethic. Now, you can't get out of doing the work. That's what I'm talking about, going through the numbers. Right? We got to go through the numbers. It's a numbers game over here. Right? You're talking to 10 people, more likely you're going to get what? 1 person, 3 people. But you got to talk to the people. You got to talk to the people, because what happens is you focus on, okay, I'm going to talk to just this amount of people over here. I'm going to talk to 3 people that you thought were going to do it, and they don't do it. And then you stop, right? And then maybe you pick back up next week. I'm just talking about me, right? Because I was like, I'm gonna focus on select people that I know that are professional guys. And really, the people that got in are the people that I think people are gonna do it. Right. Those who will, those who think will won't. And those who think won't will. So ask yourself, could I do more? Could I do more? Right? Ask yourself, could I be doing more? And then why am I doing it? So picture this, right? Because who wants to be a millionaire? I'm talking to millionaires, millionaire-minded people. I took these statistics from, right, I got this from a website. It was over 1,400 network marketers that were interviewed. And I want you to peep this, peep game, right? Because this is, if you want to be a millionaire, this is what these people did. Just an average person worked on their business. An average person in network marketing worked on their business every single week, 6 hours a week. An average person. Successful person, right? Somebody was making about 6 figures, somewhere around there, worked 12 hours a week on their business. The millionaire worked 25 hours a week on their business. How many people did the average person talk to every single day? One person. Successful talk to 7. The millionaire talked to 15 people every single day. Y'all seen Paulie's schedule? Right? Who talked to more than 15 people? Most of y'all. Who talked to more than 15 people a day? Right? Every single day. I know y'all dealing with people every single day. But what are you talking about? So, presentations per week. Phone or face-to-face. The average person did 2 presentations every single week. Successful person did 8. The millionaire did 20 presentations every single week. Face-to-face, whether that's sit down, whether you sit down at home or the coffee shop, wherever it is that you sit down with that person. I just want to see just think about your personal numbers and how you can improve. Because that's what I want us to do, to improve. So look at yourself and say, hey, man, I did 1 presentation last week. You got to get better. Right? That's all I'm saying. You just got to get better. Number of new reps each week. The average person has 0 reps come in every single week. Successful person had 1 rep come in every single week. The millionaire had 4 reps come in every single week. Every single week. So how many reps do you look at the money? You can break it down because you know how much money you're gonna make over here. Break it down. How many reps do you need to come in every single week? Every single month. So we got to raise up. We're gonna have to raise up as a company. Because we're the leaders in here. Consistently at the meetings, consistently at the trainings. Let's look at some of the prices of the fuel. Fuel went up. Since December of 2005, gas was $2.40 a gallon. Now, 2012 in December was $3.84 a gallon. Milk, December 2002 was from $2.68 to now $3.58. That's almost $1 extra. That was like $4 a gallon now for milk. Income hasn't gone up, but the bills have. Right, so you're still getting the same amount of money, but then everything's going up. Inflation's going up, but then more taxes now have been imposed on income. Now you're being taxed more, but you're not making more. So we got to be leaders. We need leaders over here. Remember that the person that cares most about you and your family lives in your house, not the White House. Chris Gardner said that. Paula said it best, we're looking for 3 full-time leaders. 3 full-time leaders. So you're blessed with all you need to be successful. The power is within you. It's just unlocking it. Right? We all got power in here. Right? You know, you feel it. You can start feeling it when you start. You know, you can feel it. You got that glow. Who ever seen Barry Gordy's Last Dragon? He had that glow on him, right? So I want to end with this. Now, it's not God's function to create or uncreate the circumstances and conditions of your life. God created you in His image and likeness. You created the rest through the power that God gave you. God created the process of life and life itself as we know it. Yet God gave you free choice to do with this life what you will. So, in this sense, your will for God is God's will for you. Because you are He and He is you. So, God bless you with all you need to be successful. You have everything that you need. I don't care what your current situation is, you got to look past it. Right? Because who wants more? Right? We got to do some things different this year. Y'all seen the stats? I've seen the stats. Get your presentations up. Get your phone. I'm talking to myself, everybody in this room. You just got to do better for this year. Because we got to go. We got to build this wall. Right? We get a lot poured into us by this company. A lot of paying for the rooms, for the presentations, and all this stuff. The conference, everything that gets paid for. Now it's time for us to give back. That's the way we show appreciation in this company. It's to produce. That's right. So, speaking of producing, I want to bring up the most charismatic person that I know. What's next? Child's next. He's sexy, he ripped, he pocket size, but he's having a lot of fun. He's very successful, man. I love this guy to death. And had I not come into the business, I would have met him. So you're gonna meet some new friends. You're just gonna drop your old friends, but you're gonna pick up some new ones. And we're gonna make money together. Right? I love everybody in this room. So, stand on your feet and welcome senior director, Chale. All right. Right.
Before I start, I want everybody to get their minds right. I want you to think. I don't want you to yawn. I don't want you to have your mind go elsewhere. I don't want you to zone out, because what we're going to talk about real quick is we're going to talk about money. Okay? What happens a lot of times, and I need your attention up here. I need your attention here, because a lot of times what happens when I bring up the topic of money is people immediately jump to this side, whether consciously or subconsciously, that they're being judged for whatever reason on the thought of money. And I want to lose you. I want you to think about this here. Because when I ask you how much money you want to make, immediately you're bombarded by everything you've ever been taught about money. If you want too much money, you're greedy. Whether you thought about it, you didn't think about that thought has been planted in your mind at some point in time in your life. Whether it's by society or whatnot, we do it to ourselves. We do it to ourselves. This last election, we bombarded a gentleman, all right, over money. We were like, oh, all he talks about is money. But one of our biggest issues we have in our country is money. But we don't want to discuss it. I'll let you know right now. If you ever want to discuss money with me, perfectly fine. It's a perfectly fine conversation. So I'm going to ask you this question, okay? What's next? You were just challenged on your perspective on a lot of things today. Those of you who just joined the company, you were just challenged on your perspective. So then you go, what's next? You're thinking about that big wall, right? That big wall that Antonio was just talking about, that Will Smith was just talking about. And you're like, man, how do I do that? Now let me ask you. When I ask you your number, what's your number? I just prefaced this whole thing, right? And it immediately like, Chad, are we gonna go there? You just said that. I'm gonna count this. Yes, this is your biggest challenge right now. You. What's your number? I don't want you to write down some number. Some of you might have $100 million number. But what number right now makes a significant difference in your life? It could be $5. It could be $1 million. I don't know where it is. But what is that number? Have you thought about it? Now, what does that number get you? Because here's that whole conflict that happens, right? As we go, what's that number? And people don't know. What do you want out of life? And oftentimes, I find that number here is only a part of what they want, when that number should encompass out here, right? It should go out there. But why is that when we start expanding our minds to accommodate all that we want, for whatever reason, we either let other people, well, I'll let other people alone and say, we let ourselves tell us that that's not okay. That's not okay. Because I'm going to go on this whole presentation here, and I don't want to get too deep on this, but the fact of the matter is, we are a sales and marketing company. Companies allocate 30 to 50% of their money to pay us. Why is that? Because it's the most difficult thing that you're going to do in a company. I don't care how much thinking you're going to do. At the end of the day, you need to communicate, deliver, and sell. Isn't that right? So if you came in here with a thought process that this number is going to be easy to get, you should probably leave right now, because you're going to quit at some time anyways. I'm going to save us all a lot of time and a lot of money. But if what you want is truly worth it, that's why I'm saying that whole number, now forget it. Now just think about that. Because here's the thing about money. I can take that donut that Antonio's eating right now, right? I'll go out and sell to somebody for $6. I bought it for 95 cents. What are you talking about? It's like, think about it. Can you find someone that's craving a donut enough? And you holding a pretty donut like that, can't you sell it for $6? Why did Kowalski sell it for 95 cents? Who cares what the number is for a second there? What do you want? I want the donut. All right? So if we're thinking, for some of you go, oh, a company right now, like I'm trying to figure out how to sell this company for $149, yeah, $149.95. Forget the number. Who wants the business? Who wants that donut? Do you get what I'm saying? Forget the number. What is it that that person wants? And you heard Brother Newman Thomas on this morning, like most people tell you what they want, but how do you understand it, right? How do you understand what they want? How do you get into that person's mind? And we keep talking about building that relationship, right? Not leading with the business. With the business, all right, you're operating, your life is the business. That's why we're the life business, okay? You're walking in there and you're establishing that relationship. That number you put aside so you can accommodate whatever it is in life. Because if you walk in fixated with a certain number and they say, you know what, I really want to take my family on 6 vacations this year. And then your mind's thinking like, okay, this person needs about 6 times a couple $1,000, and you need $12,000. But what if that person wants to go around the world 6 times in a year? You just got like this, right? Like this. Expand it. Work the other way around. So we're going to work backwards, and I'm going to reverse engineer this whole thing. All right? So I'm going to ask, what's your harvest? What's your harvest? How do we receive information? What do we go back on? Because you realize that our minds right now, how you're responding to me, how you're looking at me, online world, all that, right now, I find out what's in your business. I don't care all the nooks and crannies, it's you. All the time when I'm consulting businesses, I look at the person and I ask myself this question myself, like, what's their harvest? What's their harvest? Because our minds, we all have fertile ground. You know when you said, plant your seeds in fertile ground? Everybody's mind's fertile. And guess what? It grows anything you put into it. Absolutely anything. So if people are talking to you and you're constantly, going back and going, and it goes to the negative side, I dare say there's a lot of weeds in that garden. There's a lot of weeds on that farmland, on your fertile ground. You need to go back to it right now and start plucking a lot of things out so our response comes different. Because when people come at us with things, we go back to our inventory, like you said, right? And we pull out something to combat that challenge, to work on that challenge. But if you're coming back with weeds and the person wants nourishment, what are you growing inside there? Are you coming back with some food that they can eat and help propel that energy? Or is it a whole bunch of weeds? I just put up that picture so you guys can see it before. And how it works. I guess I'll just deliver the message. You don't have to understand everything about something to know how to operate it. How many of us knows how to drive a car? How many of us know how to build a car? Do you know how your engine works? Every last piece in it? What do you do when you get to your car? You open the door, you step in, you turn it on, and you just step on the throttle and go, right? Some of you might be going, well, there's more steps to that, and all that. What's going on is like, no, you get in your car, you drive your car. That's all it is. With this company, it said over and over and over, right? You get in this company, and you introduce this business opportunity to other people, and you have a whole machine system here that's ready to help people get into the business, help improve the business of all the people that you bring in. That's it. It's 3 people. It's 3 people. That's all it is. How it works, you bring in 3 people. You turn on your points. The points, I'll tell you what, the points will probably change at some point. So our trainings and all that's going to change, like the whole number thing, but how it works, that's how it works. You put in people, and it kicks out money. I should probably put that up there. Know it all. Some people like to know absolutely everything but everything. And then you're talking about people you encounter and stuff, but those are people you're going to encounter all the time anyways. People who know it all have no more room to receive new information. When I ask that question, it's like, what's your harvest? The whole mind's filled with weeds. You can't even navigate to go in there. Even if there's something good in there, you're so cluttered with the way that you're thinking if you think that you know it all. Because the more you know that you don't know that much at all. That's a fact. That's the truth. We know a lot about some things, and those some things is just very little in relation to a whole bunch of stuff that we need to know. Less steps, more progress. And if you get this, we're going to live it out. And Tony, we're going to be cold this week. as we go out, because this will be, what, the third winter that I've experienced this, going out and talking to folks outside? All right. Less steps, more progress. Step 1. Everybody see that at the bottom? All right. I'll put JMG over there last, so, and I'm going to go use the illustration stuff so we figure it out. Marathon. Does anyone know how long a marathon is?
26.2.
26.2 miles. Go. 26.2 miles. Who here has started running at any time in their life? How was the first mile? How was the first mile? It's tough, right? I don't know about you. The first time well, you know what? I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna become a pretty good runner. My first mile, I was so excited. That first 100 meters, that I probably went a lot faster than I needed to. I was exhausted after the first 100 meters. I was like, wow, I just went a block. I could barely breathe. Heart thumping and everything. He's like, oh, I'm gonna give it all on this first 100 meters, right? And I was like, that's the first block. I still have like 0.99 miles left to run of the first mile. Of the first mile. But when you look at it, step 1 is just to get through the first mile, right?
Yeah.
How difficult was it to get through your first mile? Just think about that real quick. How long did it take you to get proficient at your first mile? To where you run out, flat out, run a mile, get home, shower up, and just walk out of there. You're done with the mile, and you're just walking away from the mile. Alive. Alive. Your body recovers quickly, you know, and it responds to that. 1 mile. And as you work your way down, there, how'd it go? Let's talk about money real quick. You guys remember your first $1,000? I don't know what your goal is down here. That's that funny thing. Everyone keeps blusting around about that magic number. But does everybody remember the first $1,000? How many of you can go out and make $1,000 right now? How long will it take you? Doing what you know now. Put JMG aside because we're talking about that last. We're going to talk about that last. Forget the money. You can sell the donut for $1 or $6. Okay, so the more so you learn it. That was kind of a trick question. So I was waiting for someone to get it. Trick question, right? Because I'm not worried about some people. Some people go, you know what? I'm only worth this much, so I'm gonna put this much value on a product or a service, whatever it is, and then get a lot less. This person's like, I don't know why you do that for. I'm selling this, and that's why Paul is saying our company, you know, other companies out there, whatever. Some sell for 500, 1,000, you know, 15, whatever it is, and they still get it because that's it. All right, let's do this. I've spoken about it before. Pull up. Antonio, how many pull-ups are you supposed to do?
50.
50. Supposed to do 50 pull-ups. 1 pull-up. Who here can do 1 pull-up? And walk away from it. Okay. Who here can do 10 pull-ups? Okay. Who here can do 5 sets of 10 pull-ups within 10 minutes?
Close.
Huh? Okay, so now I got everyone attention. He's like, we're talking about pull-ups. I didn't want to talk about pull-ups. Okay. All right. Well, here's the thing. Do you realize some people can't even do 1 pull-up? Do you realize that everybody wants to do, like a lot of people want to be able to do a pull-up. Some people don't care to do pull-ups, but there are a lot of people who would like to do one pull-up. They just don't, they just can't even pull themselves up one time. So it's like, you want me to do multiple pull-ups, I can't even do one pull-up yet. How do I get to do one pull-up? Now I want you to hold that thought. Hold that thought real quick. JMG, step 1 is 3 people. Less steps, more progress. Everybody, when we come to these trainings, especially for the first time, and then we start thinking the same way as we're at these trainings, right? And how we want to build the entire organization, or build an entire organization. Each week we keep on going back to 3 people, 3 people, 3 people, 3 people, 3 people, 3 people. If you've never worked in multi-level marketing before, if you've never worked with JMG in particular, you've probably never seen the whole thing of 3 people. Matter of fact, if you worked in the MLM industry before, you probably see some stats that most people only get about 2.6 to 2.8 people. That's not even a third person on average. Okay? So forget the numbers real quick. 3 people. A lot of us haven't even done one pull-up. We go out there, we get beat up and everything, and we come back and we still haven't had 3 people. And we keep going back, we can't get 3 people. But you understand that when you do one pull-up, when you go out and even if you can't do one pull-up, there are other exercises that you need to do in order to get to the point where you can do one pull-up. Some of us in here can't get in front of a room, or choosing not to get in front of a room, because everybody can get in front of a room, I suppose. But some people don't want to get in front of the room. And because that fear is there, that fear holds true outside of this room, you have a hard time getting in front of other people. Some people have a hard time turning and facing each other and looking at each other. We've done that exercise. You have a hard time looking at someone you've known for a long time. Brother Fred, I can look at you all day. You know, all day, all day. Why is that? Because I'm good with me. It has less to do with you. I'm good with me, and because I'm good with me, I can actually establish communication with you. I bet if I look at you for a while, maybe you get uncomfortable. I don't know. Why is this guy looking at me so much? That's because Brother Fred. Everyone knows Brother Fred, right? It's a community. Some of us have a hard time looking at each other. And I'm getting close. Some of us have a hard time with proximity. Online world, you can't see this. But Brother Fred, you know, he had to look at me. But if I go up and I have my arm around him the entire time, you know what? We're going to build this great company. Yes, this year, $5 million. But some people have a harder time with it. You know, you might be talking to a lady. And in our society, it works different with all of that, right? But this one pull-up keeps on being different in every one of these situations. And then you come back, well, you're not just doing one pull-up, you're doing 3 pull-ups. You're doing 3 pull-ups consistently. But then it's not just 3 pull-ups, and we're going forward with that. And then we complicate things. We put things in front of us, right? We have this amazing, why in the world like this? And I love this illustration because who said you need to go through that? If you're talking to someone and someone just doesn't want to communicate with you, you're like, my goal in life is just to communicate with this one person. It's one person. Just go around that one person and keep going. And keep going with that thing. Because here, simplify. If you want to be wealthy, every single wealthy person, in addition to those 4 things that you mastered, you know, in our My Financial Word, simplified everything. He goes, oh, McDonald's simplified their tasks inside there to where you didn't even need a high school education in order to operate their store. Did you know that? But in order to own the store, your qualifications are you need to go to McDonald's University and have like a little over $1 million in net worth, right? Well, actually, it's liquid. I believe they keep changing it. They make it more and more strict. But they have all that. They simplified the whole process. As you go out, right, and you're breaking that down, whatever number that you had, divided by 30. Why? Average out about 30 days in a month. Every single day, if you're not making that, all right, now divide by 30 and then get rid of the number. What tasks do you need to do in order to achieve that? And then forget it. When I wanted to do the marathon, I didn't think about this 26.2 miles. Matter of fact, I never ran 26.2 miles until the marathon. I never ran 26.2 miles until I ran the marathon. Why is that? Because they told me that if you can run flat out 15 miles, that's where the wall is. I explained that your body kind of shuts down. anywhere between 12 and 15 miles. If you can break through that wall of yours, it's different for everybody. If you can break through that, you'll get your second win and you'll run the rest of the way. That's what they told me. I was like, okay. So then I started out running 1 mile. It took me a couple of weeks to get 1 mile down. And when I got done running 1 mile, you know, at first when I started, it took me like 8-9 minutes to run 1 mile. For those who haven't run a mile, it's kind of an eternity. But who cares? But who cares? Okay? Eternity for what? For exercise or to get this? Because I know that I have about around 4 hours to finish a marathon. Okay? So I had 1 mile. So what I do, I ran that mile faster. I ran the mile faster. What I'm saying, divide what you have down to 30. If you can't get it done within a day, those tasks in a day, you need to get stronger, better, quicker at that so you can get it done in a day. Yeah. The mile. So then after a couple of weeks, I go, oh, this is nothing. I can walk away from it. Yeah, but can I walk away from running at 7.5 minute mile? Now can I do it at a 7-minute mile? And then now you add on another mile. Now can I run 2 miles at that pace? And then you keep building on that. But you simplify that, right? But how do I do it? Simplify. It's removing things out of your life that's occupying time to get better at what you want to get better at. Removing time. Because you realize after you run 2 miles, your body starts getting sore and all that, right? More time into stretching, to eating proper foods and all that. Same thing with the pull-ups. Before I could barely pull myself up 1 time. Barely pull myself up 1 time. But then afterwards, it's the same thing with 3 people. With 3 people, as we go out and we're getting 3 people, maybe the 3 people that we're getting, like, how many of us have done, let's say, these exercises and just rushed through the exercise? We're like, 3 people, I can get 3 people real quick. And the quality of the 3 people just wasn't there. Because I've seen people do 3 push-ups, and then I've seen some people really do 3 push-ups. You know? And the person that really does the 3 push-ups gets the results. The person that just went through the motions, right, doesn't seem to get the results. I know you guys been in the gym before. Everyone's been in the gym, right? There's some guy that's there for like an hour or 2. And he looks the same year after year after year. And it's the good same. It's the same, like, man, you work out so much. How come you don't get the results? It's like you're just going through the motions at the moment. Go for the quality. 3 people. Simplify. Simplify what's in your life. Remove the things that don't get you what you want. That's all it is. And then you move that much smoother. Does everybody get that illustration? Break it down. Why? Now it's down to daily tasks now. Let's break down to daily tasks. That's where you get this whole analogy and metaphors that come from what Antonio talked about, that 1 brick. That 1 brick. And then as you do that, you get what Brother Newman was talking about, establishing your daily routine. And once you get that, it's just repeating that and getting it done quicker. Because you become more proficient. Not necessarily lacking in quality, but you just become more proficient at that each day. Because now, because the money comes last, and I'm ending with this, and I really hope that you really take this to heart and examine this. And it's not just another message that may or may not make a difference in your life. Because if you want to make $1 million this year, okay, you need to average about $80,000. Well, actually, let's go up 85. About $85,000 a month. A month. I just want people to remember that because we're talking about millionaire, right? Millionaire mindset. It's $85,000 a month. So can we just round that up so we can be pretty simple with this math here? So what is that? That's about $3,000 a day. A day. The average income is about what? $2,500 a month. This is multi-millionaire status. Each year you're making $1 million. $3,000 a day. Now remember what I said earlier? We don't need to know everything about something to understand that we can just operate this business. We just get 3 people over and over and over and over and over and over and over, it's going to equal $3,000 a day eventually. That's all it is. Do I need to say anything else? You guys, this is JMG. The life business. Simplify. One thing that has been really special in my culture growing up, right? In my culture, being in the Asian culture, is the study of martial arts. And we understand that back in the day, even if you go to biblical times, people lived for hundreds of years, right? You know, they make video games these days where you throw fireballs and all that stuff with your power. Today we think it's a joke, but at one time I strongly believe that our people could do it. That's because we focus so much and got so in tune with who we are as beings, that we recognize that all we are is shells to pure energy. To pure energy. If we put our mind and remove everything else and become so simple to what we were created to be, like we're simply energy, right? We're simply energy. Now, how do you channel? You can go home and Google it. You'll actually have a lot of fun doing this, right? When you research chi power and watch individuals in martial arts or whatnot summon so much energy to certain parts of their body to where it becomes illogical. Science can't make sense anymore. You can take a blade and try to chop a person's head off, and it can't do it. The blade will break. Okay? And that's the same focus that we're talking about today, is if you simplify everything, know that within yourself, you have that type of power, that type of energy, that you just focus it and apply it to something. None of what the obstacles or whatnot that's out there is going to deter you from being able to achieve the goal that you're looking for. All right? And I'll just leave you with that. So you can have some fun facts to research and simplify the life. Clean up the clutter, and let's make this happen. Everybody have a good week.
All right.